as well. Head over to
Yin Yang broke the speed tonight.
promo code WSSR SMAC for all trophy apparel that you're looking for, from pre-made to custom.
All right, man, we're going green next time.
We just got to stay up front.
Line up on the outside row now.
From
Pit road is closed.
practice, qualifying,
Mr.
warm-ups,
Benjamin,
it's time
may
for
the
main
74
event
car
of the
have
evening.
an
Our
EOL, please?
150 laps at the Milwaukee Mile. And top of the board will be the three machine of Ryan Kelly, one of his best qualifying runs of the season.
Thank you,
when
thank
this
you.
three is up front, he's going to be a driver to watch out for, as he will be starting in that front row with James Scioli to his outside.
Milwaukee Mile.
Racing, maybe prepped and ready for this.
Starting
While we're at it, we
fourth.
should give one to the 38
Coming
as well.
behind his teammate that got pole.
Make
It's
the,
the
make the
6-7
lane
three-time
Hey, Andrew. Thank you.
WSSR, Larry Yingling starting
he's on
third.
my
Ryan
list.
McCann going to be watching out what pace he's got. That's going to be Richard Wolfsburg's
Zero
pick this
Pizzle
evening,
2 is
starting
now
fourth.
following.
Chad Wilkes, hoping for a better run than last week at Road America the 6th. Will be starting in 5th place. Vincent Sora starts all the way down in 6th position. 7th, we find the 11 of John Forbes Jr. 8th is Ken Campbell. Ryan Noel, one of those drivers near the cutoff line, will be starting in 9th place and finishing out our top 10. It's the 7 of Douglas Newbigin.
Yeah, great top 10
Five
there.
cars
Rolling
left
out
the
the 11
grid.
is going to be last year's champion Zachary Hall in the number 1, and Ross Tatum to his outside starting in the 12th position. GT Irizarry starting 13th in the 14 machine, and
Stage at 35.
outside in 14th place. Joshua Cadot will be rolling
Still waiting
out
on 2 cars to grid.
P15 with Cedric
And that right rear gets mad.
machine on that
Real mad.
16th position. Christopher Norris, last week's birthday boy, starting in the 17th position in the number 38, and Dick Crawford to his outside.
And we can get like 90 some laps on a tank.
Waiting on the
Around the
final
lap
car to grid.
30 is when it
on that bubble
gets near undrivable.
position in points. So hopefully he can have a really good run to continue.
So saving, I'm anticipating, is going to matter here.
20th place.
And then falling back to 21st position, we find the 26th of Thompson Jack. Driver got a solid performance last week after early struggles. It's the 2 of Danny Cochran. Spectacular finish that they had coming to the line last week with Shane Terrian. All behind them will be finding the 28 of Brian P. Johnson. Cody Reed will be starting in 24th with Christopher Wade.
Go ahead,
25th.
Sam.
26th, we find Ryan Ferraro with Justin Malarkey in 27th. Ollie Fonseca will be back in 28th. 29th is Ben Kinney, and finishing out our final 2 drivers who did not put in the time, Shane Terrian and Tyler Dangler. 31 drivers expected to take the green. Up front, it's the Yang.
I just need to survive.
Ryan Kelly ready to give us to the go. I want to say thank you to everyone that's joining with us. Tonight's race had a little bit of oopsies happen.
Get ready.
The race will be officially 150 laps. Stage break will be at the end of lap 35. No fast repair, but the drivers were supposed to only have 5 sets of tires in pit road. Well, unfortunately for some, fortunate for others, they will have unlimited tires.
Green,
So
green,
if you
green.
need to go into the pits, enjoy the rubber that's there. As the field gets ready to go green,
Good job.
they
The next
enter the
car is
restart
clear.
zone,
Inside.
and in the power of the
Stay
3
high.
machine of Ryan Kelly, he
Still
didn't
there.
get going as well as he wanted. James Scioli instead will have the nose head entry turn
Still
number
there.
1,
Hold
as
your
we'll be
line.
side by side with the 3 with a way better entry into the corner. Take the lead and
Still
drives
there.
away
Hold your line.
is Kelly.
Ryan Kelly with a bullet out of a gun, basically shooting right out of turn 1 into turn 2, and just takes
All
a
clear, all
hefty
clear.
strong
You got
lead.
one inside.
And with that restart, like I said,
Should have downshifted. They're all shifting.
was able to make that
Oh no.
There's the car on the low side.
Block the left front up.
Stay high.
I'm
There's
not
the
off
car
to
on
a
the
good
low
start.
side.
Larry Yingling making the pass, coming down into second past Scioli also.
Still there.
And Chad
Hold the line.
Wilkes is making a move back there on the outside as well. Let's see if he can make the pass on James Scioli also.
Big loss of time though
Still there.
for the 8
Hold your
machine
line.
of Brian McCann. Went extremely wide into turn number 1. It's already lost 4 positions. Could be losing even more as you're looking back, seeing the battle
Still there.
between, I believe that's GT Rosari and Zach Hall as they're battling back for 11th position. Other drivers also back there. Jared Talmadge, who needs a good run.
Stay high.
See it on screen now. Douglas Newbigin and Ken Campbell is the 7. Missed out on last week's race. Trying to get a good finish to
Stay high.
propel
There's the car on
Douglas
the low
Newbigin into
side.
a position where he wins either tonight or next week.
Should probably just drop in line.
It's still spotted the playoff.
All clear, all clear.
He's kind of got to rely on that win, so he's got to get everything he has
That was your
tonight
fastest lap of the
next
session.
week. But he's doing a good job right now, just kind of keeping it clean, which is what the drivers want to do. It's going to be a long race still. Everyone's doing a good job.
I'm also getting a lot of
Time.
stutters.
Stitz. And
Oh my,
Got one inside.
but, 700
Still
also,
there? Hold your line.
having a little battle.
that whole backstretch was
Say
bad.
hi.
Yeah, Joshua Donata trying to find his way to go forward, changing up the speed.
Still
A
there.
couple of drivers have changed
The car in P2, just at the fastest lap. 31.267. Say hi.
Slight high bomb move by the 16 there, attempting to go for a
All
pass.
clear, all clear.
Larry Yankee,
Did it again.
right here, Ellie and James Scioli trying to pull away from the rest of the field. Our top three having almost over a second gap back to fourth place where Chad Wilkes runs currently. As you to see the hands of Yingling here for this lap. I mean, looking smooth
That was your
currently.
fastest
This
lap
flat
of the
surface,
session.
like I said, about 9 degrees of banking at the corner, 2.5 degrees on the straightaways. There's not a lot helping you through these corners, but they're making it work currently.
Yeah, there's not a bunch of banking. It is a very flat track, kind of like that of New Hampshire. So it is a lot of throttle control for these cars to get around this turn. And the biggest thing about being behind other drivers is that dirty air that takes a lot of downforce off that nose and does not let those front tires grip like
The
they
leader
should.
just did a
So, a lot of these drivers are further back in the field
31.384.
are going to have to try and manage their tire wear a little bit more than those that are in cleaner air, pretty much the leader only. But themselves, they got a little bit of clean air that they can use, and we got a little bit of a challenge for position here. And pass group on Brian Noel.
John Forbes on the outside. He'll make that pass work for himself. And looking at the 00, attempting to go for a pass back. The crossover move was not there, as well as the 8-sheet Ryan McCann. Trying to find a way to get back to some of those positions.
Lost one.
Early position. But as we were riding on board with Yingling there, interesting. Oh no, Chad Wilkes going to be snapping loose off the exit of the corner, into the grass, into the wall, and into the tire barrier is the 6 machine, as he will stay low off the racing surface. We stay green for now, but Chad Wilkes' nightmare from last week's contact with Christopher Norris to now that spin has to take a toe to pit road, and Chad Wilkes' night could be over just like that. Oh, you hate to see that for the 6 machine, who once again, great qualifying run, couldn't capitalize with it.
Yeah, Chad Wilkes has had a very up and down season this season. So, did have a huge happening last week with Christopher Norris on the front stretch going into turn 1 at Road America. And just an unfortunate, got a little loose coming out of turn 2 and just drove the car straight into that one little bitty tire barrier down in the grass on the backstretch. So just an unfortunate spinning location and then just unfortunate car placement there. So hopefully we'll see what he can do, get some repairs done, maybe get back on track, but that could potentially be the end of his day.
As now on screen, we're seeing the 2 drivers that started in the back. Shane Tarian, who started last year tonight. Tyler Dingler did not take the green, as well as Cody Reed, who is making his charge forward as well as he can. Cody hoping to learn a little bit here. When I talked to Cody before this race, he didn't have a lot of confidence entering tonight. Felt like this car was going to be a handful. The track wasn't fun for him, and he's just hoping to survive and make it to the end of the race if possible. As again, points are going to be tough for Cody. He's just inside of the top 25 at point. He needs a solid run to feel a lot more comfortable heading into Daytona next week.
Sorry, just kidding. I didn't mean to get in the other.
Norris will make the pass. Christopher Norris in the 38 as well as the 24 Roland Fonseca, both
How you good, brother?
with
Seems like we always end up around each other.
after having too many incident
I was thinking the same thing.
cautions or just incidents in general over the course of the season. Both have to start at the end of the line. The 38 has been moving up.
Josh, we're still going to find each other in this race.
The 24 machine will move up to 19.
I'll meet you in the info care center.
So he has been flying through this field.
Looking forward to it.
74 and others going back and forth. And there's that Ohio State 24 machine. A very rough Road America, but for Ollie
The
here
leader
tonight,
did a
making this track look very clean
31.709.
is the 24.
Al doing a really good job making his way through the field little by little. So just kind of being patient and taking spots when he can. And it is a gorgeous Ohio State machine he's got there in that number 24. So but Ollie doing exactly what he likes to do every single race, just kind of be a little bit patient and make the moves when he has to. Right along now with the 26 27, Jarrett Talmadge, up here in the 10th position. He is the last driver for the stage bonus points when the stage ends. So he's going to see if he can either gain a little bit more or just try to defend his 10th
Car
there.
77
Sure he
has
can get
taken
to
the
bonus
lead.
points in stage.
That stage will conclude at the end of lap 35. Also, talking about being patient, and
When you get to his bumper, it starts getting super tight.
Kelly was patiently making his way forward as the 77 did fall down to third place at one moment. Now has climbed to the lead after getting by Ryan Kelly. The 3 just slightly went up a little bit too high, gave space. 77 takes that position, and now trying to drive away Larry Engling as well as Vincent Sora. They're now starting to make that push forward, and Sora, looking at the last couple of laps that it ran, 51, has been the fastest driver on track, as it now he's gotten to the hard part. Now it's making some passes on drivers ahead of you.
Yeah, he's definitely got Larry Engling, and Larry was, like I said earlier, was not really looking forward to this track. He hadn't had a lot of time on it, so it's a new experience for him. But Vincent Sora taking a look on the inside. Larry, a little bitty wiggle there, and Vincent trying to get that side trap, and he's going to throw it down into turn 1, and he should be able to make the pass nice, clean. Gets up in front of Larry, and the pass complete. That's about as clean and as perfect as you can do it here at Milwaukee.
16 lap in the books, and Vincent Sora up 3 positions from where he started, as one of the bigger movers of drivers that started inside of the top 10 has been Vincent Sora. Also, Brian Noel has been a big mover, come to 00. But I'm curious on your thoughts on this, Richard. Hearing a lot of drivers say they don't really have a lot of practice on the Milwaukee Mile. It's not a track that's well known for a lot of different series to run at. I know for us here in Freaky Fast Broadcasting, we've seen Vincent Sora and a lot of the drivers that have raced on Monday nights with the ISRC Truck Series. They've raced here in the past, but I'm curious on how much of just having track time, it doesn't matter if it's the same vehicle or not, is assisting some of these drivers here this evening.
Oh, it definitely can. Any kind of track time on any track it is, regardless of the car, you at least get
A lot of stuttering.
where the nuances of the track can
Even though I'm getting like a solid 160 frames.
to break loose, or where you should start cutting into the middle of the turn as well. So any experience on a track, I mean, seat time, lap time, track time, it all adds up to a better experience than whatever car you're in. So a lot of those ISRC truck drivers who have driven here before, you know, they might be having a little bit of experience.
The leader just did a 31.704.
A lot of these drivers, you know, for how loose they were complaining that this track works, they're all doing a really good job keeping these corners nice and straight. So they've figured something out, and now can you get the speed under the car while also maintaining those tires? And I think this is where a lot of those drivers will start learning that and the difference.
19 laps currently been completed, about to be starting lap number 20 for James Kyle. The rest of the field seeing passes every once in a while if someone sees an opportunity to throw it down to the inside, or if they feel like going for the chance of a long way around on the outside groove. But currently seeing a long train of drivers waiting on who's going to be slipping up.
Got one
It's
inside.
Flipping up right there, so it's slight
Clear low,
mistake on
clear low.
Mellow Yellow Machine, Ross Tatum, and I think that might be the reason why we're seeing drivers stay so smooth. Tatum saw the fact that he was going to lose time there, and Danny Cochran was going for the pass. He gave up that position quite easily, thought about the crossover move, didn't go for it. The 21 graciously giving that position away after seeing that he made the mistake and did not want to put himself in a risky situation heading into turn 1.
Yeah, that's great racer craft there by Ross Tatum. Got a little loose coming out of the turn and knew Danny Cochran had the run, and instead of putting himself in potentially a low wall or even wrecking Danny himself, just gave the position up, and he'll work on trying to get that position back, because he made a little bit of a run there to get up onto his bumper, but not able to continue the momentum as he falls back a little bit. Danny going to try and make another pass here on the 14 as well. He will complete it going into turn 3.
And trying to follow in the tire tracks was Ross Tatum, and Tatum trying to push up GT Rosari, and instead grazes the grass, breaks loose, and now Tom Sinchek in the 26 will have a chance to fight back over Ross Tatum. So just going for the risky move, and it backfires for the 21, but willing to dive into the corner and holds the position. But those tires they're going to be hurting. That's a lot of heat just in those 2 corners we watched for Tatum that he is now going to be feeling for the rest of this run. And so we're done with this stage, and oh, that's the worst nightmare also. You don't want to see a driver start blinking out as well.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out. Line up single file. Pit road is closed. Head to the 11
I can't
car.
drive this car.
Feeling that we have a caution.
I was,
Oh man.
well, I was losing to the leaders.
Meeting, but
That looked to be shaky.
The top 2 was
got
just
another
driving
tire
away.
accident, I guess.
The top, or the 3 in front of me,
Yeah,
I was keeping up with.
With Christopher Norris. Who
All right, but I'm gonna
We were about
Stage
even
ring as well.
times.
Shane Darian was struggling
Stage
with
is on lap
tires.
35.
Trying to way to get
11
by
car.
Cody Reed, and Reed had just got by
Everyone, thank
him.
you.
Same for Norris. And it is
If I can just hold what I got here at like 6,
number 3.
that'll help me out greatly in playoff
Head
chances.
to the 11
38,
car.
and it does not go the way that he hoped that it would.
So I really need a top 10 here.
Actually, I think we might have got a little bit too far back. Might be this upcoming
I am.
spot throughout turns 3 and 4. But Christopher Norris overcorrecting right into the 9 machine and spinning out Tarian that brought out our yellow here. It should be in the middle of 3 and 4 when we see this incident. We'll see for this lap. But I mean, Richard, you're already seeing it. Norris is just drifting already for 2 laps in a row. That handling is gone on the 38, and it was just bound to see calamity happen here.
In
Yeah, he's burned up those rear end or that right rear tire, which kind of
Pit box in
grip, and
5,
he just
3,
sit there and
2,
darts back
1.
up into Shane Tarrant.
Right
That is
here.
the biggest issue with these cars is you can get a little
That was hard to see.
steering wheel the wrong degree trying to save it. The car just wants to snap and return hard right. That's exactly what we saw there with Shane Tarrant. So hard hit for Shane, hard hit for Christopher Norris also.
That's it,
Hopefully
go.
they can get their damage repair, get back on track and make some waves, but it looked like pretty much the entire field. came
Line up
down.
single
We
file.
got some 2 tire tigers, didn't we?
Some we got, you know,
Oh, 2 stayed out. Uh-oh.
tires. Might as well get some fresh tires when you
Uh-oh.
you can run a little faster.
We don't know what's going to happen here.
Christopher Norris completely cranking the wheel right, and once there was
There's going to be a big lap time discrepancy here.
right into Tarian. 2 drivers though did stay out.
GT and Cody.
GT Irizarry and Cody Reed, 2 drivers that weren't looking the quickest,
Yep.
but going for the gamble of track position. Why not go for a gamble? Also, some other gambles that happen on during pit stops.
All right, man, we're
Douglas
going green
Newbegin
next time by.
with 2
All right,
tire
man, line up
stop.
on the
He's now
inside
bumped his
row.
way up into 3rd place. Also, Ali Fonseca, who's been the biggest mover based off a raw pace so far, he went with 2 tires, and he'll move up to 12th position. And Richard, I think that's the fun thing with unlimited sets of tires.
Oh, we had them tires cooking.
Factor of
94, 93.
a lot more often.
Yeah, Cody, I think I'm
Oh yeah,
already
you
out,
don't
so I
have to
can
worry
switch it.
about you know, how many sets
Outside of those 2
later.
leaders,
It, you know, kind of opens up a whole bunch
Vincent and James, I think.
a decent move for Douglas Newbigin, who's
I might have had those 3 guys in front of me beat on the long run.
could help put him in a spot for the stage end to get him a higher position when we resume racing again.
Get
So,
ready.
a good gamble. I'm all for it. I don't know about the not pitting from Cody Reed though in GT Irizarry. We'll see how
A lot of stutters.
saw that these rear tires are already getting a little worn out and make these cars really loose, but we're coming around.
All right, man.
Turn forward to take
Eight
the
cars
green flag, racing.
Green, green, green.
He's gone. Gotta make that hard left hand. And
Did
we
a
are back to green flag
1.13,
racing here in
got one
Milwaukee
outside.
Mile. GT Irizarry on the lot
Still
pedal.
there.
Taking off and go as the drivers roar.
A lot of stutters. Oh my goodness.
There's a car on the high
Douglas
side.
Newbegin doesn't want to wait behind that 25. Tries to get under. Squeezing to
there.
the quarter panel. Reed somehow holds steady, but Scioli with the run, heading for that lead position.
Stay
We're
low,
almost
there's a car
4
on the
wide
high
for the
side.
lead spot, but it's Scioli that takes the lead. Cody Reed, GT, Douglas Newbegin. They
Oh, nobody wrecks.
for long
That'd be bad for me.
Hold your
for
line.
1 lap.
Yeah, they're still 3 wide with Vincent Soren
Got
there.
bottom 3 wide.
Inside of Cody Reed and another row behind
Hold
him
your
with
line.
John Forbes and Ryan Kelly. GT Irizarry
Outside.
just
2
running
wide
like
there.
a rock. Those tires.
Still there.
those right
Sorry,
there,
Ty.
the fresh tires can definitely make or break a
Stay low.
restart
All
for you.
clear, all
Those
clear.
are jumping in a hurry. But Cody Reed or Douglas Newbegin on those 2 tires is doing a great job.
Outside.
Front, kind of maintaining where he was at.
Still there. Hold your line.
Second place on his teammate.
All clear, all clear.
The big thing for GT Irizarry for Cody Reed.
Told you
They're
it
both
happened, Josh.
thinking we need to be inside of the top
Carry
10
C3,
and survive
just
inside
at
of
the
the
top
top
of
10.
lap
Once lap 30 comes around, and then
31.046.
hope for a caution flag to come out. That would count as the stage because these tires will not allow you to stay in the top 10. If we race it green to the stage, you're just too slow. You're losing too much time. But Cody Reed, G.T. Rizzari both linger inside of our top 10 at this moment. And this is incredible to see Cody Reed where he's at right now, currently still fighting for the 8th place position. Kind of building a wall and behind the G.T. Rizzari's holding back other drivers, but we are now on lap 30. And this, if caution comes out now, this would be a big net advantage for Cody Reed and Rizzari.
Yeah, this will be a huge gamble win for both of those drivers, but I do believe Rizzari has officially dropped out of the top 10. He is now sitting in the 11th position. So Cody Reed is going to be the one that's going to come out on top with this, but he gets a little loose in the turn as well. As the 27 of Jared Tollidge looking underneath, he's going to make the pass along with Ryan Kelly and Zach Wall. So Cody Reed, he can potentially drop out of the top 10 as well.
But trouble behind, and it's G.T. Rizzari just as Cody Reed gets out of the top 10. Oh, he had the chance for points, but it doesn't work out. Rizzari breaking loose at turn 4, tapped by Danny Cochran, and saying hello to the water barrels for a quick moment. Was the 14 what seemed to come to a stop before hitting them too hard.
Ryan, did you get any damage from our little contact there?
Small little contact. Doesn't look like it's required damage for Rizzari, but all
Copy.
that
Sorry about that. I just
went
walked
away
up.
in a blink of an eye.
That will be staged, guys. That will be staged.
Rizzari, but
It came out after lap 30.
Cody Reed, I do believe he was able to get
Pit road is now open.
All right, I stand corrected. But yeah, just a little small tap there for Rizzari. Hopefully not a lot of damage. But I think they're definitely now going to come in and be like, I think it's time for some new tires.
It might be a good call. I'm curious though, for those that already had pitted, do you still make that call? As the drivers we were notified can go on fuel about 98 to 102 laps on fuel. So you're expecting to just get fuel, you take tires if you're the front runners. Here we go into pit road, and it's a slight tricky one if you're not aware of where pit entry is. It's just a little niche on the straightaway. And some drivers are taking the gamble of staying out and not entering pit road because you can't make it on fuel from here. So why not stay out and take that track position while James Scioli, as well as a few others, enter pit road to get service done. As GM, it's going to be Joshua Kanata, Ross Tatum, Brian P. Johnson, Ben Keeney, John Forbes.
Came out 12th. Ooh.
He's going to be the last driver that stayed out. John Forbes.
Yeah.
Taking 2 tires.
It's kind of a gamble. Stay out, go in. We got a long run here. That's what I'm thinking about.
The drivers are taking outside here, losing track position has fallen out at 8th place.
Yeah, and we actually had a little bit of scuffle on pit road.
Track position is important, but
each other. So Danny had to back up.
Having tires after 60 laps is also important. So
spun almost all the way around by Danny Cochran. So unfortunate pit road situation for Ollie Fonseca.
All right, man, we're going green next time by. All right, man, line up on the outside road now.
Kanata opting to not pit. That's going to be a very interesting strategy call by him.
Yeah, top 4 not coming into pit road. Kanata, Tatum, Ryan P. Johnson, and Ben Keeney going to be all staying out on old rubber, as that will count as our stage. And congrats to James Scioli, who will be our stage winner. With the time of that yellow coming out, that did conclude. So Joshua Kanata, how will the 16 roll on the outside? It's only going to be a simple 8-lap difference on tires. Just a 6 laps of green flag racing difference. We'll see how big of a difference it will turn into. Also have a report on Chad Wilkes. He has officially called it an evening after the timing of this yellow. So the 6
I couldn't pick because it put caution me.
Tyler Dingler also has gotten on track for a quick here.
All right, man. 8 cars in.
Went on track, ran a few
green.
Now looks like he might be moving to start park.
The lead is at 1.941.
He's starting to pit road. We enter the restart zone, and Joshua Kanata leading some laps here this evening. Taking some gambles on when you want to enter pit road and staying out. Works out for the 16 to 21. They cannot look it on fuel from here, so why not stay out on track? Well, we're already 3 wide in the middle of the field for fifth place.
These drivers are definitely wanting to bring the excitement tonight at this new track.
Where's the grip?
All clear, all clear.
I really want to drop in line and save tire. Oh my goodness.
Back to 3 wide as well. I think it was
outside.
Johnson. 3 wide with Vincent Soren.
Still there?
Good looking out, Cody. I wasn't trying to like dive deep.
They're still going to look
I was
just
trying to
a
look
little
good.
bit
Car on
and
the
make a
high
3
side.
wide again. And we got
Oh,
Douglas
it's hard to
moving
start.
in slow on the inside.
Stay
Broke
low.
loose out of 4, slamming that inside wall. Luckily, they didn't collect anyone else in that incident, but Douglas Newbiggins' troubles
there.
of spinning out continue on.
clear
And it's a
high,
hard
clear
lift. The 7 took major loss of track position. All of that gambling of the stage
All right,
out of
man,
the
caution
way.
is out.
And now
Caution
he's
is
got
out.
to just show
Line
up
up,
raw
single
speed
file.
that he's got
Pit
a
road
chance
is
to get
closed.
back up running. Oh boy, watch out! And that's Ben Keeney close to pit road. And I think he did hit the barrels as the 98 hard contact. And he just could not get away from the pit entry.
You flirt with the limit on that right rear,
The barrel
it'll bite you.
return is over for Ben.
Turn 4.
Oh, unfortunate situation for Ben Keeney as he comes out of turn 4.
Ah.
Gets loose and the car just wants to drive straight
Spend 20
into
bucks
the
if you
pit
save the
wall
replay and get that out
barrels.
of
As we
get that
line
out one of your
right now, we
newscasts.
see what happens, and he does. He just gets a little loose coming out of 4 way low.
We do
on
the
his
top
apron.
6 at 6, and
Bounces
I'm
off the
gonna have our
original
sports
wall.
guy do the
Just-
top 6
Straight into it. Oh,
with that one in
I
it.
think
that's horrible.
that will be the end.
That sucks.
Esports counts.
We'll do it right on. Get a sense of
Hey,
what
that's
it's like
sports
from
in
Ben's
your
point
name.
of view in the cockpit. Just
I think you got to
tires
get the one of
trying to
GT
get off
too.
the
I
exit
think
of this
GT hit it.
corner, and it's so tough with how flat
Yeah,
this
but
track is. It's
I
almost
hit it, but no.
impossible.
Looked like he might have hit the apron too.
Well, and it is a perfect
stopped.
lineup shot to the pit barrels. And luckily this is
I'm
virtual
glad that,
because if that was
I
real life,
didn't kill
that
you.
would have
I was
been
worried
a
about
nasty lick that 98 took.
Nah, I
And
hit that little
Ben's return
fucking
in the
hump dip
2025.
in the
We
track
hate to
right
see
there,
it
and
go
it
out
got
like
it
that.
kicking
We're happy to
sideways
see the
on it, so
return
it
of
wasn't
Ben,
nothing to
and
do.
we hope to see even better racing next week at Daytona. But Richard, I
Pit
mean,
road is closed.
now we're into the. I know this is a mile course, but that short track style of cautions breeding cautions, and this is cold tires are just going to get even colder now for this next restart.
Yeah, this is a prime example of, like you said, cautions breeding cautions. I mean, we had a caution.
But again,
we had
I
the
didn't get
stage
any
break
damage out of
caution,
those.
and then Ben
Shocking.
Keeney bringing this one out shortly after. So these tires, it's going to be rough for them to warm up if we can't stay under caution. So hopefully these drivers kind of hopefully calm down just a tad bit, let these tires warm up, and then we can have some side-by-side racing again. But man, track temp is up to 112 degrees. That is really hot. That is hotter than qualifying. So these tires, they can warm up really quick, but you don't want to warm them up too fast. But those tires are still, when they're cold, they're very slick, and that's what happens as we saw with that of Ben Keeney.
Yeah, the air temperature has dropped.
Wow, look at that stutter.
That track temp is around the window that it was for practice. Practice was looming
All right,
around
man, we're going green
111
next time
to
by.
about a
All right, man,
114,
line up on the
so
outside
back and
road
forth
now.
from there.
I
So
did, but
that
I'm
should get a
just
little bit
gonna
I changed the graphics setting today and gained a lot of FPS, but
Do what?
somehow I gained a lot of stutters too.
miserable. It was tough to stay on track. I was getting
But it's not consistent. Like right now, it's fine. It's butter smooth.
these entry of the turns and go.
But then just randomly, it'll go
With iRacing's new updates that they've added,
start dropping.
there's now dirt and dust and marbles that is really going to be affecting these drivers on the outside. The longer this race goes on, it's going to get tougher and tougher. If you miss the
Oh
entry,
man.
your night might be done if you go too high into those marbles.
Yeah, the new
Hey John, do you mind if I restart
Get ready.
report here?
brain fart there for a second. My bad. The debris model has definitely been added, and it's a great change to this racing. And yeah, you get a little bit too high into that turn, and you could get really loose. We saw a lot of cars going up there, and it's
cars
still
in.
way down. So
Green, green, green. You're in the top 10. Delete it on 6.44. You got one inside.
Joshua Canada starts off, and the green
Stay
flag
high.
is waving, and a great start from Joshua Canada as the
All
21
clear, all clear.
gets a little blink, and he's about to go past as well. No, he's able to defend that position as they come out of turn 2. And Joshua Canada still a great lead, but John
Inside.
Forbes on the hunt to try to chase him down
Still
and
there.
take that lead
Hold the
from
line.
him going into 3.
They get sound
Should have took that low spot.
Still there.
side, and these restarts, that third row, really do figure out these launches. And
Still there.
Figure out the timing to take off and go. But John Forbes misses the entry completely, and just like that, went for a solid
Stay high.
race and attempt back for second. now going to be struggling to stay
Clear
in
low,
that
clear low.
third place
Inside.
position. So Danny Cochran in the 2, and there's Tom
Still
Sinchik.
there.
Big
Fourth line.
contact with Ollie Fonseca. Everyone keeps it straight, but Zach
Still
Hall
there.
gets into the
Fourth
marbles
line.
and brushes into Christopher Wade. And the race for last. It
Hey,
is
hi.
Hornets nest back here with a gaggle of cars just not able to get away from one another.
Yeah, that was a scary
Stay high.
situation for a
There's
lot
the car
of
on the
drivers
low
having
side.
to make a lot of evasive maneuvers to try to get around. I am really shocked nobody spun out and caused a wreck there. All the drivers still
Stay high.
keeping it straight, but that was a scary moment for
All
Zach
clear,
Hall
all
as he
clear.
finally files back in line to try and race and gain that ground back up.
Here's Christopher Norris, who we saw earlier in the race, a major snap loose situation for the 38 machine. He's trying to find a way to cycle his way back up here at the top 20 marker. Another driver trying to cycle his way forward. Detlef Newbigin had a great chance to fight for inside of our top 5, top 10. Got loose, lost all that time, went basically back to last place. He's now inside of top 20 and battling now for 18th position. Good runs right now for the 7, but we got to go back up front for the challenge for the lead because Ross Dana, big slide, missed the entry, lost a ton of ground, and a game opportunity for John Forth Jr. on the outside. He's got to go the long way around to get by this.
Wow, I saw about 5 frames for the exit of 4.
Ryan Kelly, and it is helping the 16 defend for this position on the inside. But it is bringing all the cavalry behind.
Got one
Richard,
outside.
this is about to get dangerous if you're Canada.
Still there.
Because all that time that you just built up on that restart to get away from the
Stay
field,
low.
they're closing it back in quickly.
Yeah, they are, but Josh Canada really doing a good job defending
Still
his
there.
position, but got a little loose to allow John Forbes to get to his outside to make a move.
You're clear high,
John
clear
Forbes
high.
going to attempt another pass on the outside of Joshua Canada. Got to stay out of those marbles with a car push high. And they're both staying side by side. Canada getting a little squirrely coming out of the turn.
Deleted
Looks like
to the
John Forbes went out and run down the front stretch,
31.711.
and will officially have that P1 position, but still side by side. Canada is not giving up easily.
He really isn't. You got to remember Josh Canada on slightly older tires than the rest of the field. He was part of that group that decided to stay out under our last caution, while the rest of our leaders deciding to get some to go to the pits to get fresher rubbers. It's allowing them to make these bolder moves on the outside. And as now Canada will fall down to 3rd place, but still a major net gain for Canada, as he's got to be proud of the fact that he stayed up front as long as he did. He's running 15th, now in 3rd. And now it's find a position and a spot that you can kind of slot in line and defend that position as much as you can. Another gaggle of cars starting to get frisky around one another, looking around 14th position. And it's the drivers around the cutoff line. The cutoff line for 25th, the cutoff line for 15th and 16th in points. And that is Chris Ditz, Cody Reed, as well as Ollie Fonseca and Danny Cochran. They were stacked 2 by 2. And I thought for a moment we were going to see an incident around that because those drivers have been willing to throw these cars around and almost making contact around one another.
Yeah, Danny Cochran still seems to be losing a little bit of ground. Ollie Fonseca on the inside of him. These two had a little bitty scuffle on the pit cycle there during the stage break. But they seem to be okay on the track. It was just a little bit of an accident. I think it was Ollie Fonseca coming across Danny Cochran's nose and they were trying to get into the pit box. But Danny Cochran holding strong on that outside line with Ollie Fonseca there. He's trying to make that pass. But the longer these two stay side by side, they're going to burn up their tires a little more than those in front and behind them. So they've got to get this sorted out. They want to save some tires for a longer run. But Danny Cochran, he is not willing to give up any more position. Gets a little squirrely coming out of turn 2 and into the wall. Gives a little bit of a run for Ollie, but still side by side, these two not giving up at all. But it finally looks like Danny Cochran's going to be falling back a little bit. And now Samuel S. Garcia will be challenging for that position.
Garcia trying to hit his march forward on the inside to get by Cochran. That outside lane has not been really gifting any spots for the 2 machine. But he's trying to stay on the mark, on the darker aspect of this course. Try to stay away from the concrete, stay on the asphalt, through the corners as much as you can. 2 stand gets in line finally for himself. Now it's Ollie Fonseca and Cody Reed. Friends, allies, teammates trying to work as one, but Cody Reed drifts a little bit too high. Lose that spot to Ollie Fonseca. Sets up Danny Cochran now in the 16th position. And you're starting to see this line of drivers
Got a little loose.
closing in, the train tightening up. And when you get passed by one driver, it kind of puts you in that conveyor belt to watch out for. If you see everyone getting good runs and you're stuck on the outside, you might be losing not just one, but multiple positions.
The lead
We now move
did a
up to that battle for 10th place.
.503.
Here's Ken Campbell and Jarrett Talmadge that race around one another as Ken Campbell tried his best to hold back this 27, which Talmadge, I mean, he's been having a great couple of races ever since he switched over to this SpongeBob scheme. I gotta say, he's been a completely different driver, it feels like.
Yeah, he's definitely really stepped it up over these past couple weeks. It's great to see him up there and racing along these faster drivers we see up front. So Jarrett is doing a fantastic job near the end of this season. Probably wish he had this speed earlier in the season as well, but is able to finally complete that pass completely from Ben Campbell and will secure the 10th spot with Brian McCann now in his sights to see if he can get some speed and catch up. But McCann seems to have a better run off the turn.
Trouble. It's the 26 of Tom Sinchek. Got spun around off the exit of turn 2. He's in the grass. We stay green. As Sinchek tries to get rolling with the leaders slowly catching up. He needs to get rolling now as the green flag will continue to stay out, but a spin. Trouble for that 26 that was running around that 20th position.
That's an unfortunate situation for Tom Sinchek there. He had an unfortunate situation
Inside.
at North America also as we ride along to see kind
Stay
of
high.
what happened here in turn 1 and 2. Just gets up a little bit
Stay
into
high.
Cody
There's
Reed
the car
and
on
then
the low
down
side.
on the apron. Just a light tap.
I could have pulled around him. He got loose. If I was shifting.
Not really an exciting spin, just a small situation over
Stay high.
another driver and touching that yellow
Car 51 has taken the lead.
I guess you could say. But, hopefully he can recover a little bit. He's definitely going to be
Still
wishing
there.
for
Hold the
a
line.
caution here soon. But Jarrett Talmadge on the move. He's trying to make the pass on Brian McCann, and it looks like he might be able to clear going into turn 3
Still
here.
there.
Brian McCann losing another position potentially. So a great move on Jarrett Talmadge. He is just moving his way up through his field today.
Yeah, starting to
Stay
see
high.
drivers that are
There's
really
the car on
happy
the low
that
side.
that spin
Clear
didn't
low,
bring out
clear
a
low.
caution. Another driver who's excited about that spin didn't bring out a caution. Enabled Vincent Sora in the 51 to take the lead over John Forbes as we were watching the replay of the 26 spinning out. Able to slice and dice his way past these drivers. Finally found an opening to get by the 11, and for Vincent Sora, I think his sights might be set on I need to make sure that I pull away from this group. And this has been a fun kind of war to watch. I feel like it's been about 4 to 5 different drivers that in the long run all try and compete for wins. It was Seth Knoll when he was showing up part-time, and you also saw Vincent Zora, Gavin Rogers, James Gaioli, Drew Jewell was a part of that mixture, and now John Forbes of drivers that when they're around one another and get into the long run, seeing who has that lead late. It seems like Vincent Sora has been that driver, and if you're Forbes or Scioli, you got to be nervous on this 51 having clean air and into this middle of this long run.
The leader just did a 31.617.
Great job. Just kind of holding up a decent lead over half the start for John Forbes. So leaders up here, they're kind of just in their groove right now in a really good rhythm. Got to save those tires and try to figure out, all right, is it going to be worth it getting, hitting for tires or just running the fuel out? So these cars can run a really long time, over 100 laps on the fuel load. So it's going to be interesting to see if anybody wants to try and hit for tires, if that timing or the lap times that make a difference. So, but a lot of just kind of in the rhythm and waiting for a time to pounce here in the front 3 as
Yeah, it's the middle of the pack. We're starting to see a few drivers getting close to one another, battling for the top 10 has been close, as well as a little bit deeper in the field. Currently, we see here, this is just outside of the top 10. Cedric Hunter trying to find a way to get by a friend and teammate outside of the series. Cedric Hunter, Brian B. Johnson, also seeing one of their friends, Zach Hall, trying to make their way forward, catch up to that pack. It's battling for 16th place. It's the one of Zach Hall and Chris Denson.
Oh, he almost wrecked.
Behind them,
Still wrecking.
They're happening is Douglas Newbegin and trying to find a way to get by the 15th Tim Garcia.
Yeah, he's trying to make that move to the outside of Garcia there, sitting back in the 19th. He's got a long way to go to catch back up to the front, because he is kind of in a must-win situation to get into the playoffs at this point. So he's got this race and next race to make that up. But we'll jump over here to the 15 of King Campbell in the 21 of Ross Tatum. They got some side-by-side racing up here. Ross Tatum, who's trying not to lose any more positions. Jarrett Poppage got around him. King Campbell's trying to make that move as well. He's on the outside. But Ross Tatum holding a little stronger on the inside line, but I think this is going to be King Campbell. If he gets too high, he's going to get to those marbles. He's going to make that car just a little tight.
Yeah, one
getting
inside.
a little loose on the inside.
Clear low,
so
clear low.
did King Campbell. They're going to be side by side in a drag race down the front stretch.
And a lot of these drivers pit around 29 laps to go. And during our first stint of this race, on the first 25 laps, drivers were solid for the first 20. And then after 20 laps, the tires started to fall away.
Clear low, clear low.
Well, starting to get snappy loose. And one of those was Ross Tatum, and his handling has been really falling away these last 3 to 4 laps. Again, they've been out there on track. Green flag racing for quite a bit. And Tatum's tires look to be gone. It is a struggle whenever he touches the throttle. That thing just wants to spin out.
Yeah, he does. He's kind of got to roll with throttle at this point and try to do that, because anytime he puts the power down, that rear end wants to step out. So he has lost the grip of those rear tires. They just want to spin. So he's got a handful of a car to drive the rest of this race where he decides to find a pit and take tires. So, but he is just losing.
Deleted did a 31.853.
Exactly well. But we're riding up here with the 13 of Cedric Hunter, who is trying to make a pass on Ollie Fonseca for that 12th position. He's running on the outside. Danny Cochran's trying to peek to make a move on Ollie as well.
Ollie really put the pressure on this 13 machine, and I gotta say, for Ollie, he's got to be feeling on top of the world right now. This is one of his better runs that he's had, and it's on a flat, short track. This is where he's kind of had troubles at some courses in the past, and would have found his job started back because of a penalty that he earned after last week's race. And he has just been working his way forward, and one of our biggest movers of the race is this 24. Second biggest mover, actually driver just ahead of them in that black American flag machine in the 28 of Brian B. Johnson up to 12th spot. From where he started, Cedric Hunter's got to be careful, that outside row, the outside lane. Yeah, that's this run progressive. I'm shocked that the drivers on the outside are still holding the position. I mean, Richard, at this point of the run, I thought for sure if you're stuck on the outside, you're losing that spot almost immediately.
Yeah, you would think so, but I will say that the benefit of that outside line is you have a little bit more of an arc, so you don't have to really crank that car down. So that might be what's benefiting some of these drivers on the outside, which allows them to get a better, more straighter run down the straightaway. So that's probably why he's helping out those drivers on the outside. It looks like Stephen Hunter almost able to clear Ollie Fonseca. I just think he's a little too high on the entrance. Ollie also moving up the track, got a little tight, but Danny's going to look low. They're going to take it 3 wide down the front stretch. A little bitty tap into the quarter panel from Danny. Oh, they are beating and banging a little bit there.
Yeah, one inside.
Cedric Hunter finally able to make that pass.
All clear.
Danny Cochran is making a move on Ollie Fonseca.
Inching closer and closer to the middle point of this race. Patience levels are fading away as the 2 went for the aggressive move. Backfires as Zach Hall will take that spot away. Last season's champion in the 1 machine. Hoping to set a tone, preparing himself into the playoffs. So Zach Hall has 2 top 5s this season, 5 top 10s, and it has been a rough one at the moment throughout the regular season. With the playoffs right around the corner, the confidence level is almost at its lowest that it's been for a championship hope. At least one team for the playoffs is confident for the 1 machine. But Richard, I mean, when you're trying to build confidence at a track like Milwaukee Mile, Daytona next week, I mean, do you feel like there is any momentum you can build up as big move by the 2 machines? Saw an opportunity to go up there, though, as Danny Cochran falls back to another position, it looks like.
Yeah, Zach Hall and Danny Cochran both had a little bitty moment there, but Danny Cochran's going to be the loser in that one. Zach's going to pull a little bit of a gap there. But As for the momentum, I mean, you have two tracks that are not normally ran by these drivers, even in the official races. So this is not a track that normally shows.
The leader just did a 32.215.
08, which again, that's not even a track we can race at in real life because Daytona got repaved to a smoother surface. So when it comes to momentum, it's kind of difficult with these two tracks. You have this 1 mile flat, semi-slow, slick track. But then you're going to go back to Daytona, super speedway. Yeah, that's going to be really bumpy, and it's actually going to be a lot lighter than regular Daytona, but it's still going to be a lot of high speeds and tight racing. So it's really hard to build momentum with two completely polar different racetracks back to back.
Trying their best. We also saw for a quick moment there off of 4, big puff of smoke, saw some tire tracks up Shane Tierney in the 9 machine, snapping loose on his own. Also, gutsy call, pitting early. First driver make a green flag pit stop and still be out there on track. It's Ross Tatum taking the chance. He pits, he's going to be 1 lap down, and now it's up to the field. Can Ross find a way to see this race stay green and see more green flag pit stop?
Ross Tatum, he definitely had to make that decision to pit. He was fighting that car, so he could just be right now. He's got fresh
All right, man.
tires.
Caution is out. Caution is out. Line up single file. Pit road is closed.
At the moment.
Man, I was hoping for another 30 laps there.
Shane Terrian.
Shane Terrian again spins around.
Not having a good time.
Oh man,
that was going to be I think I had 3 or 4 of the cars in front of me on a long run. Sure enough, I was catching them 3/10. The top 3 people I'm not catching.
Exit of turn 2.
So I really need a long run or a short run where I don't mess up.
Just a little bit too much acceleration on the exit of the corner, snaps loose, and then here comes the rest of the field on the outside. Hopefully plenty of spacing for them to get around this 9 machine, but Shane even over the radio saying he's not having a good time as the 9 messaged me before this race.
I'm coming, Nick. I just have
he said this is going to be a very long night, tough one, and
Sure,
showing that it is going to be a tough
nowhere.
one. And for Ross Tatum, yes, he pitted. Unfortunate, big loss on track position, but he will get the lucky dog spots. And the 21 will at least get back on the lead lap. Just all that track position is now gone for the 21 as everyone else hits pit road to get service done.
Pit boxing.
Yeah, he gets the
right
lucky
here.
dog, but like you said, huge loss in track position. But he should still be able to come around and even restore those tires, get some new fresh tires on that car. Because again, they don't have a limit on tires today, so it might not be a bad idea to be on the same set of tires with them.
All right, that's it. Go.
We'll see what he does as all the tire cars on pit road getting some
Line up single file
for those cars. So they're going to be a little happy now. Those cars are going to
These
handle
clicky
a
yellows,
lot
man,
better. They're
are
not going to be
ideal
as
at this
twitchy,
track.
as loose now. They're going to be able to handle these cars and be able to give some good side-by-side racing for us to be watching against them.
Oh, I had those tires perfect.
To the halfway of tonight's race, it's going to be a perfect time for us.
How many lap run was that? 41? No, we had a caution.
Say thank you again to the
30 something.
Mackie and GTR simulators for being the primary.
I was still in the 90s.
Cup series.
I don't understand the whole quickie caution stuff. Did they make it so that every track now? Because it used to be super speedways, and now it's where, I mean,
We go
All right, man.
through.
Line up
for example, this route, like, they shouldn't have
Watch
it,
the
but-
Milwaukee Mile race number 11. We'll be back right after this.
it's easier just let him pit with everybody and then clear his flag.
Yeah, they did change it to every track.
Halfway there. Get ready. The pace car is in. Green flag, green flag. Outside. The leader just did a 4.501. Still there. Still there? Hold your line. All clear, all clear. Outside. Stay low. You're clear high, clear high. Outside. Stay low. Still there. Alright, man. Halfway this time by. You're clear high, clear high. Outside. Stay low. You're clear high, clear high.
Did he get loose there, or was that a defense? We're really going to want to save tires this one. We got to go all the way to the end. I hope those stutters is just this track and not the rest of them. If I stay off his rear, it'll help. Help him get around that person, but then I ain't gonna be able to follow through, am I? I gotta be close to him. Otherwise, he's just gonna drop in. Really need to focus on saving tire.
Got one outside. Still there. Stay low, there's a car on the high side. Stay low. Stay low, there's a car on the high side.
Well, if he didn't do that, I was actually going to back
clear,
out in the
all
next
clear.
corner. I didn't want to side-by-side race, and neither does he. We both know what's going to happen there.
The leader just did a 31.395.
I want to stop shifting. I get freight train if I do.
Inside. All clear, all clear.
Wow, I don't know what happened that turn. Wow, it just snapped. Did everybody switch to fourth? Looks like it. Except for the guy behind me, he's in third.
Got one outside. Stay low. Stay low. You're clear high, clear high. The leader just did a 31.525.
They're shifting this turn, but not the next one. No, they're shifting this one. The leader just did a 31.749.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out. Line up single file. Pit road is closed.
It's out.
A call and it will happen. Cody Reed in the 25 machine exited turn 2 with Celsius.
Oh, my broadcast froze.
Watching drivers napping loose in front of them.
Can we
Well, dang.
fix that so I can at least hit these lucky dog?
Pit road is
Doesn't
now
let
open.
me.
Seen out of turn number 2. We'll see here on the setup into turn 1, and just the fact of it's so difficult.
We're going
Once
to
this
discuss it
vehicle
after
wants
the
to
race. I
go,
don't want to
Richard,
say anything
you
like
had
mid-race.
experience
You know what I'm saying?
racing on Tuesday night in the BRB Cup Series. You used to
Well,
run these vehicles
can you
with
just clear the
WSSR
black?
in the past.
I'm gonna get
I mean,
one
these
later
are
in
the
a little
toughest
bit.
vehicles to save once they decide it's time to snap loose.
It is. They are very, very tough cars to try and save from a spin. And a lot of the times, I mean, he did a good job there, kind of keeping the car spinning towards the inside and was able to get it turned to the other way just in time before he pulled a Chad Wilkes and Joshua Kanata situation. But yeah, when these cars want to turn, they want to turn, and sometimes if you overcorrect too much, like we saw with Christopher Norris earlier,
I didn't know
they just
James
want to
Coffin
snap.
was back
So
in the 25
Cody
car.
Reed actually doing a fairly good job keeping that car
All right, that's it.
sideways
Go.
and not snapping anywhere.
We'll
and not
we'll
completely
clear
spinning
black.
around. So that's actually really good real work
line
and
up
really good
single
driving.
I didn't lose none.
That wouldn't be the case, but we'll review and probably adjust the rule for quick cautions, whether it's extending in the future or whatever. We'll discuss it on that on Friday when we do the review.
Any other strategies?
But for now, I guess we'll just
no
clear
one gambling for 2
clear black
tires.
flag
Everyone's
for-
staying with 4.
and
I'm curious if we'll see anyone later on in this race think about taking 2 tires. As, with the stage, saw a lot of drivers attempting a
Thank you, Steve.
chance to just take track position. It looked like
It's just
what
I'm
I
gonna
saw,
go down the
Richard,
lap down.
you could tell me if I'm wrong on this. It seemed like
Like
2
I-
tires
Alright, man,
really
we're
did
going green
work,
next time, bye.
only for about
Alright,
3
man.
laps.
Yeah, I
After
didn't
that,
have to
they
catch
fell
up,
off, and
so
featured
catch up,
James
double R.
Scioli,
Great.
Vincent Sora, Larry Yingling, as well as
96, 94.
Jared Talmadge. But 2 tire strategy, I think it has to be a last minute
You guys would
call
have been
at the
wanting
end of
green
this
if I would
race
have
if
pit,
it's gonna
so
work.
it just kind of fucks
Yeah,
me
if it's
over
a
every single
two-tire
time.
strategy call. If you're going to take 2 tires, it's going to be a 2-tire call with like 10 or 15 laps to go. Because Douglas Newbiggie did a really good job with his 2-tire stop earlier to get track position. But I think after about 4 or 5 laps, it started to slowly dissipate a little bit. He was losing a little bit of pace. So 2-tire strategy can work, but it's not going to be for a long run. So you're going to have to wait later in the run with not as many laps left. So it'll
Get
be fun to
ready.
see when these laps tick down and we have a later caution to see if that strategy will come into play, as drivers will move up the field quite a bit with only taking 2 tires versus 4.
As we're about to go green, thank you so much for joining with us on Wednesday
All right, man.
nights with the
8 cars
WSSR.
in.
We will be back
Green
with 2
flag,
races
green
a
flag.
week coverage. February 24th, ISRC Truck Series back to racing action.
Got one inside.
As they get prepared for season 8.
Stay
For
high.
us,
There's
we're
the
back to
car
green
below
flag
that.
action here tonight in the Milwaukee Mile.
Stay
James
high.
Scioli, great launch for himself to be side by side for 2nd position. Vincent Sora,
Stay
Larry
high.
Yingling hoping to keep a nose at least close to the center of the 51. And Scioli
Still
really
there.
holding him
Hold the
back. Yingling didn't allow him to really take off and go. Our top 3 will get almost in line. The battling for 4th now. Going to be
Clear
side
low,
by
clear
side.
low.
Jared Talmadge.
Outside.
He wants to get right back and gain more
Stay low.
positions as
The lead
his
is
real
at
best race of the
31.76.
season is showing out
Stay
still
low.
for the 27.
Yeah, he is doing a masterful work
Clear high,
tonight.
clear
See
high.
if they can move on John Forbes, one of the heavy hitters here in WSSR, second in points as well. So Jared Talmadge really giving it to these guys up front as he is trying to make a move, still not giving up that inside line to Forbes. Forbes is going to move a little high. That might give Talmadge a great run off.
That was a close one.
Trying to make that pass going into 1, but they're still going to sit side by side, and Forbes with a better run on the outside.
As well as having the blinking number 3. And that's got in the mirror a little nervous on is the 3 going to be inside of me? Is he back off? Do they even know where each other are on track? And it spooks some drivers, enables others. And John Ford's great run, he still had a nose ahead. But Jared Talmadge
Outside.
finally able to make the pass, and now it gets tricky because now
Still
you have
there.
the blinking driver to the outside. If you're Jared Talmadge, now you don't know if you're going to be fully
Stay low.
clear off the exit of the corner. Instead,
All
Kelly,
clear, all clear.
big loose
Outside.
and loss of momentum, not
You're
able to
clear
keep
high,
himself
clear high.
rolling, and he'll lose 3 positions after that one mistake. Might even lose even more as the 3 continues to stay high. We hop on board with GT Irizarry, who Irizarry at one moment stayed out with everyone else
Got one
pitting.
outside. You're
And
clear
this
high,
lost
clear
so much
high.
time. It was a positive incident that brought out a late caution during the stage. And now the 14 is recovered up to 11th place. This is a great job by himself, as well as the 7 to Douglas Newbiggie in 10th, right ahead of him.
Yeah, Douglas Newbiggie back up to where he started, but GT Arizari is doing, just another one of those drivers that we don't normally see up here in the front. He is doing a job in this recovery run from an earlier accident. So he's got Ryan Kelly in his sights right now, who has
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out. Line up single file. Your road is closed.
So we'll see if GT Arizari can get something. We got another caution on the field.
And it's a pretty nasty one. Multiple drivers involved with this, and Tom Senchek involved with another one.
I'm gonna have to undo that change I did today.
That was around that 18.
I want to come up with a pace car now, but Haley pit
or they
here,
were around
not
2-3
go left
wide
down.
for
All
the
right.
majority of the run. I think they just finally calmed down at the time of this incident happening, and it's going to be.
Can you see it on stream?
Now open.
As well as Tom Senchek trying to get
I
around
would say just
the
for
50
now, as
machine
shitty as
of
it sounds,
Garcia
just
ahead of them.
take the wave, maybe
It did
dump
not
in.
work
We're
out
probably
for the
getting another
26
caution.
machine.
So.
No, it did not. We got a replay here to see exactly.
Well, it's not
what
gonna black flag
happened.
people
Tom
coming up to the
Senchek
pace
leading
car.
those two. Chris Ditz
Just let
gets a
people not
little
doing it.
loose, but it was in front of him. It was
Are they getting tires?
in front of him that
Yeah,
smacked the
that's fine.
wall, which got Tom Senchek loose, and he went head on into
Past
the wall.
the
But
nine,
great
past
evasive
the-
maneuvers by the drivers behind. That
Car,
was a very
nine. Got the
strange
lucky dog. Let
accident
him by
as
on
it
the
was
outside.
started with
Pit road is
Garcia coming out of turn 2 and smacking the wall.
Yeah, just trying to avoid as best as they can. It's simply just tapped and clipped. Was the 26 as Garcia just gets on the throttle and felt a slight looseness, overcorrected just a little bit too much when he felt it snap loose and right into the outside wall and collecting others with him. And right there, just a simple mistake. And it's so easy to make that mistake. If you're trying to catch the car, that's the thing with virtual racing over real life racing is you can really, when you have force feedback in a wheel, when it drops and you lose that force feedback and you feel that looseness kick in, Richard, your body almost instinctually tells you crank the wheel the other way to try to save it because the car's about to go loose.
Yeah, instinctually, you definitely want to turn it the opposite way. That car is trying to slide, but I mean, without, like you said, without being in an actual race car, it's hard to feel that all the time. We have force feedback
All right, man, we're going
on our
green next
steering
time by.
wheels, and
All right, man, line
sometimes
up on
we
the
don't
inside
have
row.
extra haptic systems on their sim rigs or their seats, like the butt kicker that helps with a little bit of feel and chatter of those tires, but. These cars, like we were talking about earlier, they do like to snap after they get a little loose. So that kind of looked like that's what that was. Garcia did a good job not completely snapping that car straight into the wall, but it caused an unfortunate situation for Tom Senchek, who did hit the wall with his nose. Hopefully he's got that repaired and back out on track, and he can make up some ground that he lost.
Looks like was able to at least stay on the lead lap. Was the 26 machine. Garcia, on the other hand, has called it
Well,
a
that
night
worked.
as he is
to help
left
me
to
keep
serve.
up
We're
with
left
the
with
pack,
25
but
drivers
still stuck.
Get ready.
on track, all on the lead lap. And for some drivers, it's been a long evening. They can't wait for this race to be over. And congratulations, we're into the final third of this race, as it is going to be 44
right, man. Pace cars
laps
in.
to go.
Green flag,
We
green
go
flag.
green here. Pace car makes the hard left
So
turn
we
into
just
pit
did a
road.
6.261 outside.
Side. Green flag is out.
Stay
77
low.
gets to the line, moves up, and already seeing some shuffles with a double
Still there.
zero by
Hold the line.
Noel behind him. But it is a clean launch for at least our top 6.
Still there. You're clear high.
Meanwhile,
Clear high.
Christopher
Got one
Scaoli gets a
outside.
huge jump to the front there.
Stay
That
low.
was a wild move by the double zero Brian Noel to get back to the
Still
bottom
there.
of the track. And who's right behind him but Christopher Norris. He has had also a nice
Stay low.
recovery run to get back up here. And there's one car going really wide behind him on the outside of the turn.
That's Ryan Ferraro in the 10
still there.
machine. Holds
All right,
up
man,
their
caution is
tires
out. Caution
as
is
some
out.
of
Line
the
up
pack
single
decide to go
file.
into pit
Your
road
road
and
is
get
closed.
tires. And oh
Past
no!
the
Douglas Newbigin
38,
and Cody
past
Reed
the-
make contact down into turn number 1. And drivers
If you
spin
didn't hit me,
around,
you
and
were
what
going
could have
towards that
been and
outside
should have been a big
wall.
wreck. Instead, it's just a driver spinning and going sideways.
No, I would have made it. I only wear a brake
Richard,
for the
that
corner,
had
so
markings of
It's just-
absolute
just lock 'em up.
disaster. And Cody Reed with a big slide and save, and the rest of the field, great awareness not to just run him over.
Yeah, it was great awareness by all the drivers. And Not sure what this was, if it was just a missed break zone for Newbigging, but not only did he get into Cody Reed, but he also went up and got into Ali Fonseca as well. So Douglas Newbigging is starting to feel the pressure of the points with only these last 2 races left of the season before the playoffs start. So that could be what have made that decision, but that was just a missed break zone for him. But no other cars involved, just a little bitty slide from Cody Reed brings out the caution, and that's definitely going to be some new tires for Cody Reed because he got those really hot and really angry. We'll see if he dives into the pit to get some service.
It's a little bit further back. You're getting a sense of how the drivers are trying to react around one another.
It almost worked that time.
To be preparing through a full lap of what the
I was
7
wondering,
was
you
saying.
looked
He
a little
was attempting to go
close
on
there.
the outside to get by Ali Fonseca,
Not
already
close
attempting
enough.
to get by the 24 here. Move really was
next
not
time.
sticking to get by him, staying side by side, and sometimes you get
I
focused
guess he
in
rain actually, so I
that
guess the
moment
race
was
is just over.
3 wide, and I think just a lack of judgment of where he was on track because he was 3 wide and how close of trying to beat out and get ahead of the competition that was around the 7.
Yeah, just trying to beat the competition. Like I said, he's feeling the pressure on points as he's in the pits getting some tires and service done as well to his Chevy Camaro there, that number 7. But drivers are going to rack up, get side by side again as the lights on the pace car should be coming off this next time around, and we'll be going back to green flag racing. But great job by everybody. No other cars really involved in that situation. That's what you like to see. Keeps drivers out on track, keeps the racing interesting and fun, and you know, more points for everyone when they're trying to chase down that playoff berth.
16 drivers will make the playoffs after next week's race.
All right,
at
man, we're going
Daytona.
green
Don't
next
want to miss
time
it.
by. All right,
As
man,
the drivers
line
will
up
be
on the
taking these
outside road
next-gen
now.
cars to the old configuration of Daytona 08, a very extremely bumpy course. And based on
Oh man, we got to go to Daytona 08 in these cars.
it's going to be a handful. Drivers are expecting to snap loose randomly. They're expecting bumps to be difficult to make. And it is going to turn these next-gen cars that are
That's going to be
maybe be a big danger. To
that's going to be a show. How many cars are going to be left after that race?
regular season finale for these WSSR Cup Series drivers before we figure out the 16 that will race for the championship as we head to the playoffs in 2 weeks. James Scioli, Vincent Soar going to be your top 2 here as we get ready for this restart.
Get ready.
As well as John Forbes Jr., Larry Yingling, Zach Hall, and Jared Talmadge going to be your top 6. As well as going to be seeing Brian McCann, Brian Noel, Ryan Kelly, and Christopher Norrie going to be finishing out our top 10. Some drivers decided to go into pit road under our last caution.
Green
Watching
flag,
for Brady
green flag.
back to 15 as well as everyone from 17th on back. They got fresh rubber. How will that assist them here on this restart? It's 39 laps to go as we're back to green flag racing. And it's James Scioli who gets another great launch from Vincent Sora. Timing it a little bit better that go around. Richard, this is going to be a thing of more cautions we have, the better it could suit for Sora, who settles in second.
Should have took low lane.
Settle in second. He did have a better restart, trying to stay side by side with Scioli, but he is stuck on that outside. Was a little wide. That'll get him a little tight, and that will allow
Oh no.
to make the pass and get around him.
I didn't miss my break point big time.
Still being challenged for like that of John Forbes, who's also trying to make a move on Vincent Sora. And Sora still does a little higher than what he wants. He might have a little bit of a run, able to cut down and maybe drive a little bit straighter off the turn, and he will have a better run than John Forbes into turn 3.
Take that little win in the battle between these two. The history of John Forbes and Sora that's been growing.
Wow. I would have had him too. He slipped, but then he caught it all up better than I caught mine.
Here in the WSSR, it has been fun to always see the 11 and 51 going back and forth. Speaking of back and forth, Jared Talmadge and Brian Noel, these two going back and forth. We saw it under our last restart. These drivers were side by side. The restart before that, and they continue to be right next to one another. Christopher Norris, because of drivers pitting for tires 2 cautions ago, 38 rewarded with track position, and now he's into the fight for these inside of the top 10 positions.
Yeah, Christopher Norris up here now, resting into the top 10, sitting in the 7th or 8th place next to Jared Talmadge. He's trying to make a move, but Jared holding strong on that outside line there. They get door to door. Norris gets a little loose, and Zach Hall in front of them also getting a little tight, making the move Brian Noel underneath him. So a great 2x2 racing right here between these 4 drivers from 5th to 7th. So Christopher Morris doing a great job trying to make the move, but Noel is trying to finalize that pass on Zach Hall in front of him as well.
Their best. Holy Spirit just yet. Zach Hall, Ryan Noel, be side-by-side battling for position. Both Jared Tallman and Christopher Norris, you see on screen, slight contact with 38. A little bit too antsy into the initial corner, and these drivers willing to not give a lot of space as they're pinching down in the corner. They know they have to stay down on that asphalt. It is so hard to get around these corners when you move up to the groove on the concrete. Jared Tallman's right when he saw that opening drop down. Quick, efficient movements like that, they work out for the 27. And over now, these drivers are single file.
Wow.
Majority of the field.
Can't find it, but you get the point.
He still leads the way. Thomas, though, trouble as he goes through turn 1. And Richard, I mean, just like that, you go from, okay, we're secure to, oh no, we just lost all of our spots.
Yeah, that was not a situation he wanted to see. He did get into the back of Christopher Norris going into turn 1 there, and then got into his quarter panel, but he came out the loser in that situation as he got loose, and he was able to do a good job and pump the brake as Douglas Newbigging almost completely destroys those pit road barrels, but gets close, but doesn't hit them, and he's still making his move up through the field as well as he's chasing the win here.
Stay high.
I thought we were going to see some deja vu of what we just saw from Kenny earlier with Douglas Newbigging, but luckily kept it off that inside wall. We also have an update for drivers.
I was hoping to keep that position.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
We're going to get tires now anyway.
Pit road is closed.
As trouble behind, it's the 25, and Cody Reed gets spun around again. Luckily able to slow up before the water barrels of the 25's night just continues to go up in smoke.
Another spin for Cody Reed. He is not liking this track. He is just struggling.
We get tires here, right?
Sorts of ways. It just seems like people just getting into
and I was already number 1 in instant cause this season. I think I'm going to double my score.
And it does look like he just got a little loose, but then gets spun from behind. He might have been able to save it, but got the help to finish him off, and just a little tap on that inside wall, but it keeps him out of those barrels on pit road entrance. So good work again by Cody Reed, but another unfortunate spin for him. He's got to be happy that they do not have a tire limit tonight.
You know what's crazy? I'm looking at the tire limit, right? And then there's a couple of drivers that have gone way over what the tire limit was going to be of 5 initially having tires in pit road to work with. Cody Reed has pitted the least amount of time of all the drivers who have been out there on track. He's only pitted 3 times. Now he's still on the same tire set of those that are leading this race currently, pitting 23 laps ago, but I'm actually kind of shocked. Cody Reed, again, he took that opportunity not to pit earlier, that gave him track position. I think now, like I said, it might as well use those tires, as everyone in the field expected to hit pit road, except for a few. I mean, Cedric Hunter staying out, Nick Crawford staying out, Justin Malarkey stays out. Those are going to be your 3. They're risking it on 16-lap-old tires as the field
should have took 2
boxes, and the Milwaukee Mile not pit road set up for
Gucci said 5, and I never said anything else.
Our producer in our ear got a little bit nervous seeing drivers get in their boxes. Some drivers are actually
only lost 4
one another with how these boxes are set up to go into pit road and leaving out of the box.
Probably should have took 2 though.
Zora, John Forster, Brian P. Johnson, 2 themselves. Those 3 will advance forward. James Scioli falls back to 7th on this restart.
Here we go, and that's the strategy call.
If it goes green, this might help me, but probably should have took 2.
Vincent Sora is going to be one of those benefactors of taking 2 tires to get that track position. We'll see how long he can hold those tires on, but Vincent Sora, he is really good at saving his tires in those long runs, so this might really work out for him, just taking those tires and getting position.
Is that what your car
probably just blew a motor there.
Haven't seen it all race.
Money shifted.
3 cars staying out. Nick Crawford.
2000.
I feel like it might look a little bit more crumpled up here in the next like 5 or 10 minutes though.
Important than fresh tires.
I mean,
now are you worried about the people in front of you or the people behind you?
They did pit under our last caution before this one that we just had, so they're only on.
That's a nice way of saying the people in front of you.
Than the competition around them, and they were able to keep decent pace with those that are around them. So why not give it a chance? See what you've got. Justin Malarkey did pit on our final race last caution that we had, so he's on 12 lap old tires.
Get ready.
Expecting the 73 to have a little bit of a better chance than our top 2 But this restart, it's going to be a handful. It's going to be a tough one because everyone from 4th on back is waiting to pounce on our top 3 and take their positions away quickly. Vincent Thor's going to be the right spot to take these spots immediately on the outside, but he needs a good launch by Nick Crawford. Cedric Hunter, on the other hand, is the controlled vehicle as we are back to green flag racing here in Milwaukee. Less than 30 laps to go, and it's the 13 Hello Kitty machine taking off and going, but it's John Forbes muscling his way, getting Malarkey high, but it's given a chance for Scioli to force it 3 wide down into turn number 3.
John Forbes getting into the bumper, a little bit of Malarkey there in turn 1, but John Forbes overshooting the turn is going to push high. That will open the door for Scioli as he looks slow, and John Forbes entered the door of Malarkey. He's going to get sideways. He's able to save it, but he's going to lose another 2 or 3 positions as that did not work out for him at all. As it looks like Larry Yingling and Brian Noel is now trying to make a move as well as they get door to door.
Stay low. You're on the bottom 3 wide. Outside. You're 2 wide there. Outside. Still there. All clear, all clear. Got 1 outside. You're on the bottom 3 wide. All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out. Line up single file. Pit road is closed.
Make him now! It's Zach Hall! It's the inside wall! And disaster strikes for the 1 machine!
That was John Forbes that caused that accident. John Forbes into the back of Zach Hall. That is 2 drivers back-to-back turns that he did that to, because he actually got into Malarkey earlier. It wasn't Malarkey missing the turn. It was Forbes giving him a push into the turn. So he does it here to Malarkey, and the next turn he does it to Zach Hall, which that might be the end of Zach's night, because that was a hard hit, and a motor expired as well as they come out of turn 4 here on the replay. John Forbes losing positions, gets in right behind Zach Hall, and this is where the caution comes out. Zach Hall dives into the turn, but John Forbes not slowing down enough and just shoots Zach Hall straight into that inside pit wall.
And for John Forbes, I mean, those are moves that he has made in the past in other leagues with drivers that recognize that John Forbes is going to be making the dive bomb move, and it sticks for the 11 machine. But if someone blocks that move by the 11, those situations happen. And it's that hard spot of a driver's trying to defend his position. It's late in the race. You're willing to block and make passes, but John Forbes, big moves costing him now. When he used to get away with those moves because drivers would just be too scared to block him at times. Drivers are now getting a little bit more of, okay, well, we got to slow this 11's momentum down, and it is hurting those that are being bumped by the 11 machine. We'll see if Zach Hall's able to get back out there on track. It is not looking probable that he will get out there on track with the extent of his damage. But with drivers that decided to pit under this yellow, we got Jared Talmadge, Thompson Check, Justin Malarkey, Shane Terrian, and Zach Hall.
Hey, I got the outside again.
Road up front, it's Cedric Hunter who decided to stay out.
Outside sucks.
They run first and third. Vincent Soares starts in second. And Richard, I mean, this is a great job for Cedric Hunter and Nick Crawford, able to hold their positions where they're at right now. And they're going to try their best on this next restart to do the same.
Yeah, they definitely did a good job defending those positions currently, but that also wasn't a very long run. So,
all right, man, we're going green next time by.
Like
all right, man, line up on the outside road now.
Bump from John Forbes into the turn there. So these two, I mean, they're in good position, but again, that tire difference is going to be huge in a later run. So we'll see how long they can maintain their positions right now with just over 20 laps to go in this race. So who knows, they might be able to pull out a top 10 still, but I do not think that this is going to be a race for the win for those two drivers.
Who can survive, or will the cautions continue to mount up? It's going to be the true question here for this restart. Again, talked about it. We will be back to 2 races a week. February 24th.
Get ready.
ISRT Season 8 will start as they head to Daytona, start the season off. Cannot wait for it. So that will be the time we also enter into the playoffs for the WSSR Cup Series. Cedric Hunter,
All right, man.
Sora,
Nice
Nick
cars in.
Crawford, your top three.
Green flag, green
Oh,
flag.
I got a late
All
jump
looks
on
like
it.
you're in the top
Two
10.
drivers on the inside, though. They're on the oldest tires of everyone out on track.
You got one
Two
inside.
tire call for Vincent Sora in
Still there.
second.
Fourth to
Four
line.
tires for James Scioli, Yingling, and Noel behind as we're
Fourth to
back
line.
to green flag action. Hunter, decent launch, able to clear over
Still there.
Sora,
Fourth
but
to
it's
line.
the run off the exit of the corner. If the 51 can get it, it might be a chance for a pass down in turn number 3.
Still there.
Going into
Fourth
turn
to
3,
line.
Cedric Hunter still a decent lead over Vincent Sora, but Vincent Sora is not going to let him have that lightly as he is still trying
All
to
clear,
make
all
smooth
clear.
those little bit of fresher tires on the
Inside.
outside of his car.
The
But
lead
Cedric
is to
Hunter might be feeling the pain of having
31.72.
older
Stay
tires
high.
here soon as Vincent Sora is looking to the outside. He's going to try to make a move, but Cedric Hunter drives a little bit harder on the inside to stay in front, and he'll be able to maintain the lead right now. But Vincent Sora coming in for the crossover, but blinks out, and he's back. That was a quick blink out for Vincent Sora, like we were seeing with Ryan Kelly, but quick blink, back on track, and now he's underneath Cedric Hunter to try to make the pass for the lead.
Go high.
Cedric Hunter going to have to get a good launch off the exit of the corner. He needs to keep the nose ahead. But oh
Dig it, man. You're
no!
top 10.
Slide and spin. Hunter going to be slamming on the brakes. Johnson gets by, and because he wasn't sideways enough, we stay green. Hunter goes from the lead now all the way down in 22nd position.
I'm sorry.
And Vincent Sora loving the fact he's gifted over a half a second lead over Yingling and also Scioli. But drivers further on back, I don't know if they're going to keep it clean and green because the drivers from 16th on back, they are stacked on top of one another. And it's a lot of hungry drivers that need big points here tonight.
And that was a 0-0 moment for Cedric Hunter. Just unfortunate staying up there in the top 2 there and just could not keep that car going straight again. And he falls way far back. But huge, he still has a good chance here. He's going to hope for a caution for sure, get some new tires and try to make his charge back through the field. But it's still very possible. A lot of these drivers back here stacked on top of each other. And you got Jarrett Talmadge, who is making passes again, trying to work his way up through the field as well.
As driver has to go on pit road, that's going to be the 73 of Justin Malarkey. And a lap prior, GT Rosari got his rear end absolutely pushed in by Ollie Fonseca in turn number 1. That also probably should have brought out a yellow, but didn't. There have been multiple incidences that are starting to space out the field to a point where we could stay green from here on out, but it's the back half of the field that's going to be the ones that are the closest to one another. Shane Tarian, who's had a couple of spins, Tom Senchek, who's had a couple of spins. They all linger here, back around.
Got one outside.
To 20th position.
Still there.
Is all they can take the safety valve that's holding back this
Still
group.
there.
See if anyone can get by it. We move up though inside of our top 10 as the
Still there.
74, Nick Crawford. He's the highest runner of those on the oldest of tires and currently runs 9th. This is not a bad
Stay
run
low.
for himself, but
All
behind
clear, all
him, the
clear.
7 of Douglas Newbeck, he has another big slide as he'll stay pointed straight though, even with the mistakes that he's having.
Yeah, Douglas Newbing is having one heck of a night with his slides and spins, but still up there running close to the top 10. So if he hadn't had all those mistakes, he might have been up there competing for the top 5 or even a potential win. But great recovery from him, still trying to make his way back up the field, still has time. The win might be out of his hands though, but James Scioli up here in the front, running second place currently. And Vincent Sora was
The lead is to 31.162.
of a second, so he almost could be running away from this, but we'll see if those 2 tires can last, and these cars on 4 tires will be able to reel him in closer to the end of this race.
That's the big thing. 2 tires versus 4, but Vincent Sora is also, when they're on equal footing, has been the faster driver in the long run. 51 with this slight advantage could be equaling them out, or can James Scioli find a little bit of extra speed with 15, soon to be 14 laps to go here tonight. We're left with a total of 22 drivers on the lead lap, as Justin Malarkey has been able to get back out on track after getting damage repairs done. Zach Hall still lingers in pit road. His night looks to be completely kaput. So it's 22 drivers that are looking for these positions, and no, these final 14 going to be doing 13 laps. I mean, Richard, this is the impossible lap of what are your tires going to feel like in the next 2 to 3 laps when you're pushing everything you've got underneath you to get these positions that are so close to you.
Yeah, and I think the benefit Vincent Sora has right now is he is in completely clean air. James Scioli basically is in clean air as well, except when he starts getting closer to Vincent Sora, he's going to get that dirty air from the draft of Sora, which will affect how that car turns and handles in the turns. So it's going to be interesting to see what these 4 tires can do versus the 2 of Vincent Sora. But Sora was doing a really good job maintaining those tires, keeping them basically happy and not getting them angry at himself. So not making that car any more loose than it already is on this track. So doing a good job maintaining that lead, but Scioli is definitely reeling in that gap as it's now only, it's like 5/10 of the second gap.
The last lap, gate of 10, was James Scioli over Vincent Sora, so there are slight gains that are happening. I'm also
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out. Line up single file.
11th and 12th place as it's Nick Crawford.
I got to start on the outside again.
And it will be a caution thrown.
Oh, Nick Crawford, an unfortunate spin. Older tires could have played a factor in that. We'll find out in the replay, but there it is, a late caution. This is something like Cedric Hunter, who fell back from that spin. He's definitely going to get a break from that, get some fresh tires, and get even through the field again. But this is going to be where the interesting strategies happen now. Who's going to come in and who's going to stay out with very few laps left. But Nick Crawford here on the backstretch coming out of turn 2. He is kind of all over the place, a little loose. But here it is about to happen. It does look like he just kind of gets loose by himself. Gets into Douglas Newbegin a little bit.
He just got into the throttle way sooner than the 7, and that contact just unsettles the weight. And away goes to 74. Douglas also that is trying to save that thing with the contact that was made. A few drivers getting small taps here or there, but with the timing of this caution, it's going to be less than 10 laps to go. And if you pit now, you're going to have a 20-lap advantage on tires. But we've got ourselves a large majority of the field staying out on track. 14 drivers stay out. James Scioli from 2nd all the way down to 15th position and took 2 tires. Douglas Newbegin also took 2 tires back in 16th place. John Forbes takes 4. They are going to have to make the run of the night, and one of the best runs you could ask for if they are going to win this race, or at least salvage how much time's going to be left, because with less than 10 laps to go, I mean, I don't know if we're going to be seeing these big moves happen. You're going to have to go 3 wide all the way around this track to get back up to the lead with maybe 2 laps to go.
What's going to happen here?
That many cars that quickly either. And that was a major gamble from James Scioli. He was in 2nd place. That is huge track position. And he thought that if he pit and Sora stayed out, that everybody would have followed him. But that was not the case. Everyone was preferred the track position over tires because they've only been out for 20 laps. So I don't know. That was probably not the best move from Scioli, but that was a gamble for sure. But we'll see as fireworks are about to come down. Will be 8 laps to go when we take the green flag this time around.
Get ready.
Willing to really throw it all on the table for a best finish that you could ask for. Some drivers are having a season best race. Some are looking for a playoff charge. This is one of your final steps to set up for a chance to make the playoffs as we have our final race of the regular season next week at Daytona. But with 8 laps to go, the pace car pulls off into pit road. Vincent Sora, 20 lap older tires than those from 15th on back. Take off and go. You can already see that Christmas tree building up further on back as they're 3 wide back for 13th place. But up front,
Yeah, now I got 5th.
Vincent Sora.
Oh, and Douglas Newbegin is spinning in the back, and there it is, another caution. I was about to say, I don't think we're going to go green for the rest of this race, but there are some huge tire spins on the restart, that of like John Forbes as well, who got a little loose on the restart. But Douglas Newbegin, he is not having a night that he wants to remember as he is around again and brings out yet another caution near the end of this race.
And for Douglas here, I mean, it's simply the fact that he was trying to set up a
30 either had a late reaction or had to check up.
And he just gets on the throttle, gets also topped by Brian P. Johnson in the 7. Just cannot find a way to stay pointed in the right direction here tonight, as it has been a dismal evening where he had some great pace to be one of the drivers up front here tonight, but the gamble of 2 tires, I mean, Douglas has been...
Yeah, that's the goal. Don't wreck.
Gambles of 2 tires all night long. It's worked for track position.
I ain't even...
But it also...
Unless, like, they get shuffled up and in a big wreck, I don't think I'm going for the win here. I'm just survival in the top 5. I need this for playoffs.
Been the strategy call for
I'm at the cutoff line, so we just need a finish here.
I'm trying to set up a pass, so
I
couldn't say that maybe it was a 2-tire reason there, but it's just, just a rough day for Douglas Newbigging, who is trying to get that win.
I mean, we're putting him on the dash
into the playoffs, and I think at this point he's looking towards
They're laid out
Daytona
on
and hoping
a
to
nice
have
little
one of the
patio
best runs
form.
he's had in a while.
Yeah, a lot of drivers, I think, with the way they've ran here tonight, it
I
has
like
got to
to
be
hear
a win in your in scenario next week at the 2008
Now, I'll make
Daytona.
something happen.
If
I
you're
never
just
said it's
joining
gonna
us,
be
well,
good.
it's the perfect time. We're getting ready for a less than 5 lap dash to the end of this thing. But we've had 11 cautions, counting this one that we're currently having. We've also had a lot of lead changes, up to 9 so far. We've been green for most of the race. These restarts have been under caution, have been very quick. I think it's kind of caught some of the drivers off guard. It's been fun to get back to the racing action very quickly, but Richard, I mean, 11 cautions.
Yeah, they ain't gonna make it up to me though.
Alright, man, line up on the inside row.
This is crunch
Going
time,
well.
and James Scioli, who was second, went into pit road under our last yellow.
I got a lot of blockers behind me.
He's only gained 2 spots because we got that caution so quickly.
Yeah.
New tires at position number 13.
I don't think the cautions are over for this race. I think we might enter into some
And they ain't gonna catch us in 4 laps.
Racing as well, because I mean, you have these cars on newer tires in the back, and as you saw that last accident, they
We got all the teammates up here in top 5 though.
even Scioli,
Larry, Ryan, and me.
driver, and almost got them sideways as well. So it's not over yet. These drivers are still going to try to push their way through this field and get to the front. So we'll see how many more cautions are left in these guys, or maybe they can finally just get it straight and keep this race going under green.
As our top 12 are on old tires, it's 13th and 14th position. James Scioli and Jared Talmadge on the fresh sheet. They've got a lot of work to catch up. Vincent Sora and Larry Yingling with pace car, about to give us a 4-lap shootout. Do we stay green to the end, or do we need overtime? It's gun time for the drivers up front. Yingling as well as Sora go down to turn number 1. They will stay side by side. Noel right there on the back bumper of these 2. Slight contact for Yingling. He goes rushing high. Behind them, though, they keep it straight for now. They're 2-3 wide. Terrian's trying to hold back. The lights is going to be the 26 as well.
Hold up.
77 under contact for the lead. Sora got moved by Yingling. Noel is on the inside for first. And Brian McCann also in the picture.
Oh my goodness.
Sora out of the lead a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
They're still side by side. Only one second is sideways. It's hit by Cody Reed. That will bring out another caution. Scioli involved 3 more cars. Sora,
Oh, Tom, good job following me through that.
GT Irizarry. A lot of drivers involved. Some of them just getting sideways, but a decent wreck.
Brian almost got me.
To bring out here.
And then Chris.
Brian, thanks for
And
not
where did he come
destroying
from?
me. I don't know how we made it out of that.
Right before the caution.
I don't either.
38 is second with this caution flag coming out. And there's the big move. Ali Fonseca went for everything, and the gamble didn't work out. Spins around and collects a few more. And I don't know if we can go back a few more seconds before that and see the move for the 51 of Vincent Sora on how he lost the lead to Larry Yingling. We'll take another look here at this incident as you see.
Yeah,
it's best to stay in front.
it's nice to have this bottom side.
A restart. It was kind of fabulous launch, but Richard, I mean, just one tap, and Sora goes from a thought of victories in hand to now he's in overtime, back in 21st position.
Yeah, and that's all it takes is one tap. We've seen it a lot through a lot of these drivers. Just one little tap. These cars are already loose as it is, and just one small tap can get it upset. He did a good job keeping the car under control and out of the wall, so it still keeps him in contention for at least a lead lap finish. But that is a heavy drop for Vincent Sora, as he was also involved in the car spinning in turn 1 and 2 as well.
That blue car did what he did. I knew I couldn't lift, so I chose to go left, and luckily he didn't like bounce off the wall or
service done.
And then who's that? I think it was the white car. was coming up on me fast. I had a good run out of that turn.
Are on old time.
And then we're 3 wide, and I don't think the blue car on the outside quite knew it when we entered into 1. So I was pinching the white car,
38 of Christopher.
hoping not to get squeezed.
Right on one for earlier Rex. He is now in a position. Same for Brian McCann, for Brian Noel. I mean, these are the perfect chance to get yourself in a victory lane and to lock yourself into the playoffs and not worry about Daytona next week.
Yeah, that is for sure.
All right, man, we're going green next time.
Christopher Norris
man,
up there
line
in
up on the
second.
inside
Been
row.
pretty
Keep digging, man.
quiet all race for the most part, with the exception of the one caution that he did kind of get caused. But he's up here in second, racing for the win now against Larry Yingling. But Brian McCann, who is also really quick in practice.
Oh, I'm definitely in contention now.
Fourth, he's up there to pounce as well. He wants this win just as much as anybody else to lock himself into the playoffs and make Daytona just kind of a fun race instead of a nervous wreck.
Well, if you're
Is he talking to me? I think my teammate.
We officially entered into overtime.
Are you talking to me?
If needed, we're under our first on this race.
Oh, 10-4. Yeah, get it, Larry.
To go scenario, green, white, checkered. If we get a caution in this first lap, we will then head into our second attempt. But if we stay clean and green and we take the white flag, this race is official. The next flag will be the checkered. These drivers know this first lap is so critical. Put yourself in a position for a chance for a win or a good finish.
Green flag, green flag.
Caution behind. Oh, you're in a good lane on the next race start. Pace car into pit road. The Milwaukee Mile, race number 11. Overtime attempt number 1 is underway. And Yingling with the great launch. Norris trying to defend for second, but Brian McCann, nose is there. Norris cuts it off. And Yingling trying to pull away as Norris back to the throttle.
Norris back on the throttle, trying to chase down Yingling to get the lead, but Scioli is back there taking things 3 wide and moving through the field as quickly as he can. Let's see if the drivers can keep the car straight out of 4, because if they take the white flag, this race will be official. Scioli getting the back of Ryan Kelly a little bit, but Yingling will take the white flag right before there was cars spinning, but the yellow will not be out. This race is official as they race around for the white flag of this race.
Your white flag presented by Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's Larry Yingling trying to stay ahead. 3/10 is the difference. Norris is losing touch for a win, but he's trying to defend behind him. Scioli about a 10th for a top 5 finish, but as the drivers wrecked at a 4 on the previous lap.
Whee! Third.
Larry Yingling has been waiting for a win, and why not give it to him? Might have been a little controversial, but Yingling takes the victory here in the Milwaukee Mile.
We'll take it.
Phenomenal win for Larry Yingling, who was not that confident coming into
Thank you, Jim.
tonight's race without hitting this track at all very much. Little practice, little knowledge, but
Good finish there, guys.
skill was proven. Larry Yingling, your winner here at the Milwaukee Mile.
I mean, the 3-time WSSR champ. It has been a while since we've seen him in victory lane. And for the longest time, it was always talked about, are you willing to give the bumper? If you have your friends in front of you,
I got to stick around and do an interview.
that will give you a chance for a win. All in the past, he would say no, that sometimes it would just give the win away. Tonight, though, he took it and said, that's mine. And the Milwaukee Mile goes to the 67 of Larry Yingling. We also want to say congratulations to Christopher Norris, Brian McCann. We'll talk to them in the post-race show as we will be back right after this. What a finish. Congratulations to Yingling. We'll be back right after this one.
He just shot to the right.
Allie, watch that replay and tell me after we block again.
Is my music thing not working? Yeah, it's not working. There we go. Wait a minute, it came back. There. We need to move up to the waiting room. Who did they talk to? Third first or the winner first? Guess I better get ready. I guess y'all can listen to the music too.
Welcome back to the post-race show for the WSSR Cup Series. Race number 11 of season 10 is in the books.
Oh, I joined the wrong room.
Spectacular finish with Larry Yingling in overtime, taking the win. For some, it could have been a little bit of that tap from Vincent Sora that got the best chance for that victory. Thought maybe we would see someone else retaliate. Didn't happen. Instead, we head to victory lane to talk to the three-time champ who's finally in victory lane this season. We got the 67 of Larry Yingling. Larry, congratulations on this win. It's Sam and Richard up at the booth. How are you feeling after this one? Because it's been a while, but you're finally back with the win column.
Well, it's definitely mixed feelings. It's been over a year since I won a race in WSSR, at least. But I feel like I got into Vinny there, and I definitely was not intending to do that. I believe I got into him. I don't know. It was pretty close. But, mid-race, I took less fuel at one point, and I don't know if that really helped a lot, but it seemed to make it a little bit more stable in the center. And I made my way up to somewhere top 5, I believe. And I didn't take fuel again, just to see. And then it just, when I'm not in dirty air, it just made me extremely loose. And I'll just fall back. And especially if you get outside that little, that newer asphalt on the bottom of the corner, since it's very loose.
Yeah, well, I talked to you earlier before the race started, Larry, and you didn't have a lot of practice here, hadn't really been on track, and kind of wasn't really looking forward to the race. But, after this performance, going into Daytona, how you going to treat next week? I know you're pretty much locked into the playoffs, not really going to lose out of the top 15. But how you feeling going into Daytona? How you going to treat it?
Just have fun. You can lead every lap or be in the back, and something big can happen, and really anything can happen there. And it's the old Daytona, so that'll be pretty fun. And never driven these cars there, so I hope it feels pretty good.
We hope for that as well, Larry. I know with the playoffs right around the corner, what is your confidence level seeing the competition the way it's been this season, and for your hopes to go for a championship and go for number 4?
Well, for better or worse, I'm a realist, whatever that term would be. So I know probably 5 people immediately has a lot better chance than me. So I just gotta stay consistent. Try to capitalize on if someone else makes a mistake, and really just see where it gets me. I gotta get through Watkins Glen first, and then I can try to see what kind of speed I got.
Well, Larry, it was a pleasure to watch you race here tonight. Congratulations on this win. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any other shout-outs.
Definitely shout out my teammates this race, Ryan Kelly, Chad Wilkes, and Brian McCann, along with Kevin Hashbrown. And thanks to my sponsors, Cody Glenn Cox Music and Port City Cards on Instagram. Big shout out to you guys. And sorry to Vinny again. I've pretty sure I got into him, but yeah, I think he saved it though, but it definitely cost him.
Well, that will be your victor here tonight for race number 11. Larry Yingling gets into victory lane. Congratulations, Larry, and good luck next week at Daytona.
Thank you, sir.
As we move from victory lane, we go down to second place to talk to a driver who last week we were saying happy birthday, and then we got word that he had a penalty and had to start the end of the line here tonight. Comes away second, though. Christopher Norris and Sam Richard up in the booth. How are you feeling, Norris? I mean, at one moment, I didn't think that a top 5 was possible for you, and then we look up, you're in second place for the start of that restart.
Well, for one, it's kind of weird being here 2 weeks in a row. I haven't done that in, like, I don't know, a year. And shoot, I don't know. I didn't even think a top 10 was possible. I suck in Milwaukee Mile. I hate Milwaukee Mile, but I also hate New Hampshire, and I somehow do decent there. So, I don't know. This track is just weird.
Yeah, well, unfortunate to have that penalty to start the race, but like Sam said, you worked your way.
Oh, he came from the back
to get through and make it all the way up there. But what was the strategy call for tires near the end there to get yourself up in contention for a potential win tonight?
It was probably more just kind of like trying to think of what would work. I'm not very good with strategy, so I just kind of go off what my teammates say. I put tires I skipped that one time because I thought it was like too early, and then I realized pretty much everyone behind me pit. So then 2 cautions later, I was like, yeah, I might as well just go ahead and go get tires now. And then after I made it up to like the top 8, 2 people in front of me pit. I was like, why are we pitting? It was like 10 laps to go. So I just stayed out and did what I could. But yeah.
I mean, Norris, looking at the way this season has been for yourself, points seem to have gotten updated. You are entering into next week 19th in points, so you're inside of that window of you find yourself in a big.
Well, he's 19th in points.
You're entered into it. What is the mentality heading into next week?
So it kind of sucks when I'm close to the playoff. I kind of thought I'd be like maybe 7, 18. That's kind of bad. But with it only being really 10 points, I mean, I don't know. I could take a chill and for the beginning and get caught up in a wreck, or I lose the lead pack and go a lap down. But I'm thinking the overall best thing is probably just to put him on the dash and lead as many laps as possible. I mean, I've done that in the ISSC Trot Series, and it's benefited me before. I think the last time, well, actually, no, the last time I did that, I got myself jumped, or I jumped somebody. But the time before that I did that, I think it was Daytona, and I finished second to John. So if I finish second to John again, we're chilling. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't really practiced at all this season, aside from like Road America. I just don't have the time for it anymore. But like, I don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to practice for Daytona because I can't do it the night before because I can't do it by myself. But I feel like definitely should try to put some practice in if maybe anyone hosts a session, because I feel like bumpy Daytona with the next gen is going to be something I need to learn. It's not going to handle the bottom very well.
It certainly is going to be an adventure for us to learn as much as you guys, Norris. Again, congratulations on second here tonight. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any other shout outs.
I should probably shout out Shane. Well, not shout out, but apologize because I accidentally wrecked him in my practice. And what I mean by practice for me is the first 50 laps of the race, because I don't get home until like 8:40, 8:50. So that's not fun. But sorry to him because I was practicing in the back and accidentally jumped him. My family for watching. I know they're sticking around. Sam, they love you call me birthday boy because they had a text message about it. So my mom loves that. So thank them for watching. The admin team for putting on a great lead. My teammates. Zachary Hall. I know he had an unfortunate ending. I kind of saw him die in front of me. It was a little bit funny, but I couldn't laugh because that's a bad teammate. Cedric, I know he had a bad night. He got kind of pushed around and messed around with, so I know he didn't have a finish. Nicholas, I know stuff's going on with him, so hopefully everything's okay, I think. But yeah, they're all great teammates. We lost allies, Brandon Calling, Trevor Unhot, I believe. So maybe we'll have him back next week, because I could definitely use some extra help. And then also you guys for putting on a great broadcast every week.
Well, thank you for giving us such a great show to call. That'll be your second place finisher here tonight in the 38 lids machine of Christopher Norris. Congrats on the finish, Norris, and good luck next week at Daytona.
Thank you.
Forever since we got to talk to this 8 machine, but he's finally up in the booth with a fabulous finish in third. We've got Brian McCann with us. Brian, it's Sam and Richard up in the booth. What a run for yourself. Richard told us all night long how much you enjoy this track, and it proved on how well you ran up front. How are you feeling, though, coming away with third here this evening?
Hey, doing good. Feeling good. Amazing to get third. Wasn't really sure about this track. I do love it. This in New Hampshire, these flat tracks, they're really challenging. So I like to get out here and try to learn how to do it and hopefully, go for the win. And luckily tonight we got pretty lucky. I stayed clean the whole time and dodged a bunch of wrecks in front of me. So I'm just happy to be where I'm at.
Yeah, Brian, you're actually my pick'em tonight to go for the win because you were one of the top 3 or 4 fastest drivers in practice and qualifying 4th. So I felt pretty confident after talking with you before the race as well. You saying you really like this track, and this is kind of one of those tracks is, if you like it, you're going to run well, because if you don't like it, you're not probably going to like racing, the entire race. So how did you feel in the middle of the race when you started falling back a little bit towards the middle of the field?
Yeah, I didn't have that great of a start. I don't know if it was just the track state or maybe the temp was different than practice. I had to really learn how to drive again for the first 30, 40, whatever laps, and came back up, made passes here and there. And, there were some wrecks that cars dropped off, some single spins here and just dodged them all. So, yep.
I mean, you did a great job dodging them all, and now we're heading to a track where you might have to dodge even more. Heading to Daytona next week. Looking at the points as they've been updated, you moved up 3 spots. You're now 12th in points with a pretty good margin to the cutoff line, or where you think the cutoff line might be. What is your mentality heading to Daytona, knowing that it's such a wild card track that we have in front of us?
Yeah, I heard it's going to be the 08 tracks are really bumpy. So these cars, that's going to be interesting. I think Norris was talking about getting some practice in. I think everybody's going to want to practice that a little bit. But I've been having computer problems, and tonight's like my 3rd or 4th race on this new computer. So I'm just glad it's up and running. Hopefully it continues to go running. It's cut out on me a few of the previous races that put me down on the points. So I'm glad to get this 3rd and move up to 12th and have a little buffer there for next week at Daytona.
Well, Brian, it was awesome to see you have a great performance here tonight. And before we let you go officially, the floor is now yours for any other shout out.
Yeah, my family, you guys for doing the broadcast, amazing job there. League admins, a lot of work behind the scenes on this one. Great work, guys. Everybody showing up and doing this amazing race tonight. Drivers and everybody watching, sponsors, thank you for helping out. Thanks.
Well, that'll be the 8 machine of Brian McCann coming away 3rd here tonight. Congratulations, Brian, on the run, and good luck next week at Daytona to clinch your spot into the playoffs. Move to our spotlight driver coming away 9th here tonight. It's the 25 of Cody Reed, who had a lot of ups and downs.
Let's hear what Cody has to say.
Like the middle of the race, just could not find his footing as you're involved in so many incidences, but skaves away with
I didn't know what to say halfway
up 15 spots from where he's
through that interview.
It's Sam and Richard up in the booth. I mean, obviously not the finish you wanted. Would have loved to be finishing further up, but you come away with the top 10. How are you feeling though, personally, after this run?
I don't know. It might as well be a win. I was really struggling in practice and qualifying and just being fast. And during the race, it's like in that first half the race, I could barely hang on to the car. Finally started getting like control of the car, and then I just kept getting involved in wrecks or self.
Oh, he got the
maybe getting
he got the worst end of it.
Drove over or just completely driven through. I felt like I was getting involved in everything and just kind of lucky with how pitting went and like staying out on that last like little run. I like ninth place. It might as well be first. Like it was just such an awful race. I really didn't deserve a top 10.
Let's go back and watch Larry
About it though.
pass Vincent, I think it was.
Fantastic recovery run from you with all the spins that you were having, but having that win from Atlanta at the start of the season that kind of gave you some breather for the playoffs, and it's looking like you have a very, very, very comfortable chance at making the playoffs after Daytona next week, as you are in the top 25 in points, especially after this 9th place finish. What do you think you're going to attack Daytona next week? Just going to be a
went in and got him.
Or are you going to try and secure your spot?
I know I'm going to try to win. I'm with this car, with this package at super speedways. I know they tweaked it in the newest update, so I'll have to like see what that's about. But I've always been super strong at super speedways. So I'm just gonna go out there and try to win. Like I'm not gonna
just gave him a nudge.
Pretty comfortable, unless I
gave him a
one. But
here's a bump.
That doesn't happen. I feel like I should be pretty okay.
Wasn't even a bump. It was just kind of like a touch.
Race win, obviously.
Yeah, it just touched him. That's all it takes.
We're hoping that
these cars are on edge.
Cody, this has been a weird up and down season for yourself, but how are you feeling it with that first one that you got it in your season so far as we get ready for Daytona next week?
Yeah, I'm just thankful that I have that win because my season has been so not.
And then Brian here, he got all excited.
And I usually have the Cody Reed moment.
He's like, I got the win here. But goes down and hits the apron.
Had a couple like just.
He would have had it too.
Really slow weeks.
And then snapped it in front of me.
Playoffs without it. But I'm definitely going to try to practice a lot more when the playoffs come. And hopefully make a run for the championship. I'm going to have a Harrison Burton type playoff run. Not necessarily deserving a spot, but, I'll take it. I'll try to, do the most I can with it.
Hey, Watkins Glen is the first race of the playoffs, so who knows? You might make it through that first round for yourself. Cody, congratulations on a top 10 run. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any other shout-outs.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my teammates. Ryan and Ollie were in the chat throughout the race, kind of keeping me cool. I was getting really frustrated.
Oh, I didn't shout out to Larry and Ryan.
Thank you guys for putting on a great show. WSSR for everybody, like the admins and everything.
I had planned it.
Great league. And I'd like to thank my dad for watching. He's great. He always watches, and that's about it.
Well, that'll be the 25 machine of Cody Reed coming away with a 9th place finish here tonight.
Wait a minute. So Christopher Norris went from.
Cody, and good luck next week on trying to make the playoffs.
What is this, 8th?
As that will be our interviews here tonight. A lot of different.
8th to 3rd in 3 laps.
Overall, some drivers are just happy to get away from this track. It was a tough one for some. For others, they just were ready for success.
Yeah, Norris had a real good run.
Went for success. It might have been a small tap. It was too close to call for some. Others felt it. But Yingling takes the win. His last win was last year in late.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It had been a year since Yingling found a victory
8th to 2nd.
here in the WSSR Cup Series.